Hmm. I hope the screen is visible to all of you. If not, please let me know, okay? Okay, guys, so good evening to all of you. I welcome each and every one of you watching us right now to another class of SSB Crack Exam. आप सभी लोगों का स्वागत है। FCAT 1 2023 का क्लास शुरू हो चुका है English and the topic for today is gonna be one word substitution. We have already completed class 1 of substitution. So if you haven't checked it out already, जाकर उसको देखिए। बाद में लेकिन अभी के लिए ये क्लास देखिए एंड वी विल क्विकली स्टार्ट नाउ। सबसे पहले हम लोग देखेंगे आज का टाइम टेबल क्या है, ठीक है? सो वी विल स्टार्ट ऑफ विद टुडे। सो टुडे इज 16th of February. At 8, we had Pratik sir's class of monthly current affairs. And at 9, we had Anuradha ma'am's class of SSB interview live classes. And if we have to talk about FCAT का slot, guys, we started with Satyam sir's class at 4, ठीक है, ऑफ मैथ्स। उसके बाद आप लोगों का 5:30 बजे मेरा क्लास हो रहा है इंग्लिश का वर्ड सब्स्टिट्यूशन एंड आफ्टर दिस यू गाइज विल हैव जहीर सर's क्लास ऑफ स्टैटिक जीके, ठीक है? So guys, if we have to talk about this topic is pretty new when it comes to FCAT. It has been introduced lately, right? So it's an important topic because since it has been introduced lately, so there's a high chance that it's gonna be there this time. Okay. And obviously, your vocabulary needs to be at par when it comes to this topic. Like the questions that I usually ask so are like they range from basic to medium level of difficulty. So they can be asked obviously in forms of sentences, right? So your vocabulary should be good, pretty good, and actually you should have clear understanding of some words because the options can be pretty confusing sometimes. You might not know what is the difference between these two words because they are slightly different, not much, right? So again, you need to have intermediate reading skills and comprehensive skills. तो वही हम लोग आज कोशिश करेंगे. We will practice different sets of question and we'll try to understand. ठीक है? So जल्दी से देखते हैं. In question given below, basically you will find four alternatives, right? So you will basically find a sentence, right? Mostly you guys find a sentence. So you are basically supposed to what? You are supposed to substitute it with one of the options that we have there. ठीक है guys? So without further ado, जल्दी से join करिए. Okay. ठीक है, अभी शुरू करते हैं क्लास को. शुरू करते हैं. चलो, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन देखेंगे. A study of ancient things, physiology, archaeology, ethnology or zoology?
मैम बी
Hmm.
आर्कियोलॉजी.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, यहाँ पे तो we basically just want to study about normal body function, जो आपका कैसा body function करती है, physiology, physical, right? यहाँ पे we will basically study about race, human races. यहाँ पे when I talk about zoology, यहाँ पे we will talk about animals, study of animals. So obviously बात है archaeology, because whenever we talk about archaeologists, they usually study ancient things, right? So absolutely right, guys. The answer would be D. Very good. Next पे चलते हैं. One who has long experience, okay? Expert, novice, practitioner or veteran? It says long experience, okay? Try to see the difference. See, if I say that somebody is an expert, it doesn't necessarily mean that that person has a long experience.
मैम
That's why
आई
I
थिंक
said.
बी वेटरन.
हाँ, because अगर कोई novice है तो that person is new, है ना? Practitioner can be any person who is practicing, right? Veteran इसलिए हो सकता है because when I say that somebody is a veteran, it basically means that person has a long experience. ठीक है, तभी तो वो वेटरन बन पाए हैं उस चीज के. Because अगर कोई इंसान expert and necessarily like it's not important for them to have a long experience. Like they can be an expert, maybe it may be because of their skills, knowledge, or can be anything. But this one is just long experience. Okay. So correct. A person who deserves all praise. Despicable, detestable, laudable, or lovable. Hmm. Okay. Mm. Okay. Okay. Great. Great. When I say praise, lovable again, guys, would be related to love. ठीक है? Abhi, if we talk about A, B, and C, let's see how students are answering. Hmm. यहाँ पे if I say something is detestable, right? So it is related to something being offensive. कोई चीज offensive है. अरे. यहाँ पे हम लोग बोल सकते हैं maybe it's related to hate या ऐसा कुछ. So if I talk about laudable, so that means if something is laudable, it is related to praise, है ना? Praiseworthy है वो चीज. So absolutely right. Out of these options, our answer would be C. I hope it is clear. So very good, guys. Absolutely correct. Okay, one who is too careless to plan for the future. Okay, impotent, improvident, impractical, or imprudent. Hmm. Abhi, if I call somebody a prude, that means that person is wise. But if I call somebody imprudent, that means that person is unwise. Na? Okay. So impractical again, if I say that somebody is practical, so that means they are pretty realistic to their approach. But वो फिर impractical हो जाएंगे तो it's a person who is again not very practical. Reality में नहीं जीते or something like that. Okay, so that's not exactly related. One who is too careless. Again, when I call somebody important, important is more of related to when you lack something like you are not like maybe you lack skills or capability or for something. So you are just lacking things here. So we can say out of these options. Guys, we are talking about future ना so improvident बोलते हैं उसको one who is too careless to plan for the future because prude imprudent is more of related to somebody being wise or not. Okay, I hope it is clear. So our answer would be B. Hmm. Next पे चलते हैं. One who is skillful. Okay, skillful, disciplined, different, diligent, or dexterous. ये तो I guess this question came in synonyms also. We have done this.
मैम डी आई थिंक
Skill-
डेक्टर.
Skillful है guys. Diligence तो उससे related होता है ना. If somebody is diligent, that means that they are
हार्ड
hardworking.
वर्किंग.
हाँ, तो वो कैसे skillful हो सकता है? Disciplined is related to discipline. Different तो मतलब different, अलग. Diligence is somebody who is hardworking. Dexterous होता है, there was a question also that this person was handling this with dexter fingers or something like that. तो dexterous होता है. Dexterous मतलब skillful. Okay, so dexterous होता है. Got it? So the answer would be D. Okay, one who runs away from justice or the law. Fugitive, thief, criminal, or smuggler. Oh, very good. See, if I say that I'm smuggling things, that means I'm illegally taking out or basically taking in things. है ना? Smuggling stuff like drugs, or it can be anything illegally. So it's not necessarily mean that I'm running away from justice, because we have to find the word which exactly says one who runs away from justice. है ना? Criminal would be anyone who is doing crimes. It can be any crime. है ना? Thief would be someone who steals something. So out of these options, obviously one is the answer, because this person particularly runs away from justice or the law. Okay? Because obviously they did something illegal, right? So absolutely correct. Very good. Of one's own free will, obligatory, mandatory, voluntary, or compulsory. Of one's own free will. Hmm. Of one's own free will. If you are doing something by your free will, है ना? So when I say something is obligatory, so again it means like it's compulsory for you to do. Like it's your duty or something like that. Like there's an obligation, because when it comes to duty, it's an obligation. You're supposed to do it. If you don't do it, so obviously there'll be consequences. So there comes an obligation, it's compulsion, it's mandatory. So somewhat related, I would say if you're doing something voluntarily, so you are doing it as per your own will. Nobody is really forcing you or something like that. So absolutely correct. Very good. Not suitable for eating. Tasteless, palatable, inedible, or spicy. Hmm. Okay. Not suitable for eating. See, when I say not suitable for eating, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's tasteless, because that is more of related to palate. है ना? If I say that something is palatable, that means it has taste in it. It's not tasteless. है ना? So again, if I talk about something is spicy, that's again more about that how what is actually the taste. Like, is it sweet? Is it bitter? Is it spicy? Right, so that's again it's a different thing altogether. So when I say not suitable for eating, it means it's inedible, है ना? Because sometimes it's written on these products also that you buy, like it's edible to eat for these age groups or something like that, like you can eat it. Right, so inedible would be the answer, correct. A person who enters without any invitation, burglar, intruder, thief, or vandal. Ha, who enters without, because this person obviously enters your building, but is actually a thief. Like, what is the purpose? They just want to steal. What is their purpose is stealing. Usually they want to steal, like they intrude your place and they want to steal. Okay, so thief. अभी यहाँ पे क्या होता है? If somebody destroys public property, so उनको बोल सकते हैं like they destroy public property. So इसमें से क्या हो गया? Person who enters without any invitation is actually an intruder. They are intruding, है ना? Not necessarily they with an intention to destroy something or steal something. So correct. Very good. Medical study of skin and its diseases. Dermat, endocrinology, gynec और ortho. क्या हो सकता है? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Skin diseases. I mean, they are really popular nowadays. So, ये तो आपका यूजुअली मसल्स पे काम करते हैं, है ना? Gynac is would be a person who deals with female reproduction. So, female. Endo would be a term that would go for a doctor who, deals with hormones and all those things. तो डर्मैट ही करते हैं और कौन करता है? They only like the skin, yeah, hormones, yes, correct. Yeah, they only deal with your what do you call skin and all, na? So that would be the answer, correct. Very good. A story in which animals or objects speak and give wholesome moral lesson. Fable, parable, allegory, or legend.
Ma'am, option A, fable.
Hmm.
Ma'am, option A, fable.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, so guys, legend तो कोई भी हो सकता है. ये legend is not at all related with any story. Okay, when I say allegory, allegory is actually related in like it's used when there is some kind of object that I'm using in any story. Okay, it's actually related to a story. Allegory would be any object or any person maybe I'm using in a story to symbolize something, like to symbolize an idea or anything. So that would be an allegory. Okay, so it's not exactly related to animals or object which speak and give wholesome moral, because we are talking about moral lesson. है ना? It is just depicting an idea or something through an object. Parable is not exactly related again, because parable would be related to we can say it's used in Bible, where like you want to give some spiritual lesson to people. ठीक है, तो इट्स रिलेटेड टू नॉट मॉरल लाइक बट स्पिरिचुअल आई वुड से. सो इसमें से जो आपका आंसर हो सकता है, इट इज ए, यस, विद अ मॉरल लेसन, जो आपके फेबल ही आते हैं. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. सो ए वुड बी द आंसर. एनी डाउट एनीवन, लेट मी नो, अदरवाइज वी आर जस्ट गोना मूव ऑन. एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट. सबके आंसर सही आ रहे हैं आज तो. चलो, चलिए बताइए. Act of injuring another's reputation by any slanderous communication. Orchestration, aberration, misinterpretation, or defamation. Hmm. Damage somebody's reputation.
Ma'am, option D, defamation.
Hmm. See, when I talk about all the options, so let's see the answers. Hmm. Okay, so yeah, because there are so many cases also filed. Yes, you guys are absolutely correct. Um, hmm. So यहाँ पे क्या होता है? It's actually related to planning. You are planning something, okay? Like maybe you are planning something huge and you are doing it in a very careful manner. ठीक है? So it would be related to that, right? यहाँ पे aberration would be related to very unusual behavior. So again, it's not related to you slandering somebody's reputation. अगर आप किसी का reputation को slander करना चाह रहे हो तो वो defamation होता है ना? You are trying to demean their reputation in the society and you are doing it purposely. ठीक है? So misinterpretation इसलिए नहीं हो सकता, because आप किसी चीज को misinterpret कर लेते हो, आप misunderstand कर लेते हो, आपने उसका कुछ और ही मतलब निकाल दिया. So that would be a different thing altogether, right? So your answer would be D, absolutely correct everyone. नेक्स्ट पे चलेंगे. A recurrent compulsive urge to steal. Pneumonia, insomnia, nymphomania और kleptomania. Hmm.
मैम ऑप्शन डी क्लेप्टोमेनिया.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, okay, okay. So if we talk about it, pneumonia जब आपको हो जाता है, it directly affects your lungs, ना? So it's related to that. And insomniac would be people who have difficulty in sleeping. So it's related to sleep. Nymphomaniac would be a woman who has a lot of sexual desires. Okay, like I would say who has a high libido also, as we say. ठीक है. So kleptomaniac हो सकता है because kleptomaniac is a person who has this urge to steal. I guess there's a movie also, kleptomaniac. So yeah, the urge to steal is absolutely correct. One who helps people by giving them money or other aid, help, है ना? Benefactor, beneficiary, tycoon or patriot.
मैम ऑप्शन ए.
हम्म. Abhi, patriot obviously cannot be the answer because somebody who is in patriot is basically signifies their love for their country. And tycoon is a word used for somebody who is really affluent or I would say rich business person. है ना? And if I call somebody a beneficiary, beneficiary would be a term who would be taking the funds. It's related to that. Like if somebody is gonna die, right? So if they are one of the beneficiaries, so they are gonna benefit from it. Okay, so they are gonna have the part of it, the funds or anything. है ना? So उसके बाद आपका आंसर क्या हो सकता है? Benefactor ही हो सकता है. One who helps people by giving them money. Okay, so you are the benefactor. So absolutely correct. चलो. Hmm. Hmm. The group, especially in the arts, regarded as being the most experimental, avant-garde, iconoclast, revolutionary, or nerd.
मैम ऑप्शन ए एवेंट गार्ड.
Hmm. Okay, so this is related to grade, guys. This is related to somebody who studies a lot. Study. Revolutionary would be any person who wants to bring about a lot of change. Revolution लाना चाहते हैं, है ना? This would be a person who wants to debunk. मतलब कुछ लोग होते हैं ना, they want to just debunk all these traditional what do you call traditional ideas जैसा होते हैं ना, so they want to kind of destroy them. Okay, so avant-garde would be the answer because this is related to the group, especially in the arts, regarded as the most experimental. Yes, so that would be the answer. Correct. चलो. A method of boiling briefly to cook food slightly. Steam, bake, saute or parboil. Hmm.
मैम पार बॉयल. ऑप्शन डी.
Hmm. Okay, so when I talk about great guys, when I talk about steam would be more of related to vapors. Chalo. Bake would be related to a method of cooking which doesn't involve any kind of, I would say, flames. है ना? So आप उसको बस बेक कर रहे हो, है ना? So it's not
Microwave.
related. हाँ, वैसा ही वही बोल लो. हाँ. So वो भी नहीं हो सकता. We are talking about boiling. Saute would be like when you put little oil in it and you kind of fry it to some जैसे saute कर देते हैं काफी जो healthy food खाते थे saute things like you don't put ऐसा 1 liter तेल and then cook it or something like that, right? They put little oil and then they just kind of fry it. So parboil ऐसा होता है when you briefly boil something. Okay, so that is like parboil. So absolutely correct, guys. Very good. चलो नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं. A highly skilled musician, artist, virtuoso, performer, or diva. You know, these words are slightly related to each other, so let's see who will get it right.
Ma'am, option B, virtuoso.
Yes,
Hmm.
ma'am. What to so?
Okay. Let's see. When I say a highly skilled musician, hmm, okay, so when I call somebody a diva, so that means, we usually use it for someone who is like a female singer and who is really popular, like she's a diva. Okay, so that cannot be exactly the answer. And again, when I call somebody a performer, what we need to know is performer can be anyone who dances or who sings or performs something. So that's not exactly related to skill. When I call somebody artist is again related to somebody who has a lot of technical skills up their sleeves. Okay, when it comes to music, so they are artist. Now, I would say virtuoso would be the answer because it's related to someone who is, extremely skilled when it comes to music, like highly skilled. Okay. So, or in any field, actually, we can not just use it for any musician in any other field also. Okay, so absolutely right, guys. Our answer would be B. Correct. Okay, so the next is a person who believes that only selfishness motivates human actions. Agnostic, cynic, skeptic, or misogynist.
Ma'am, option
Hmm.
B, cynic.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So, see, out of this option, misogynist तो सीधा सा हम उसी को बोलते हैं ना, woman hater. तो वो नहीं हो सकता. Skeptic again would be जैसे बोलते हैं ना, I am very skeptical. So you are very doubtful. Like you are someone who has this tendency of doubting things. Huh. Agnostic would be a person like you are some like if you call yourself like an agnostic, so you're very doubtful about religion. Like you would say, like you are in between, like you don't even know. Like there are some people, right? If you ask them, okay, do you believe in religion? Do you believe in God? They're like, I don't know, right? Like so they have that kind of thought process when it comes to that. Okay. So after this option, we can say cynic would be the answer because they usually believe that a person only selfishness motivates human actions. Okay, cynicism, as we say. So cynic would be the answer. So correct, guys. Very good. हाँ, correct है. Very good. Okay, a cluster of flowers on a branch बोला गया है, ठीक है? On a branch. Bouquet, inflorescence, wreath, or incandescence.
Option B, influence.
Okay, let's see. This would be used for something which is very bright. You'd put flowers, when you put flowers on graves, it's related to that, not on a branch. अभी guys, bouquet में क्या होता है? Bouquet में you systematically place these flowers together, right? Like cluster them all together so that you can give it to someone. So we are not talking about on a branch. So out of this option, the correct answer would be because a cluster of flowers on a branch. Right, so absolutely correct. B would be the answer. Very good. Next, belief in many gods. Pantheism, monotheism, polytheism, or atheism.
Ma'am,
Okay,
polytheism.
this would be no god. Gone. So many is obviously out of the question. And when I talk about pantheism, pantheism actually believes that God is in everything. In everything. So, like, it's not necessarily related to you are believing in many gods. You just believe that, God is in everything. Okay, so now if I talk about mono, mono means one, poly means many, right? So, out of these option, obviously, is correct. C, because this only means many. Polygamy भी होता है, monogamy भी होता है, so correct, very good. Enclosed in a small closed space. Claustrophobia, claustrophobia, or liftophobia.
Option C, claustrophobia.
Okay. Okay. Hmm. See, out of the others, phobia, like they don't even exist, honestly. So there's no use of even discussing them. It's just see, like enclosed space, right? You have the phobia of these enclosed or like small spaces. So C would be the answer. Correct. Absolutely right. Correct, guys. A political leader appealing to popular desires and prejudice. Dictator, tyrant, popularist, or demagogue. Hmm.
Ma'am, demagogue.
demagogue.
Hmm.
है demagogue. Sorry.
उसमें था ना stranger things में
Hmm. So great. Okay, great. See, again, when I call somebody a dictator, if you're trying to dictate people, so you feel that you have that upper hand over people and you can just dictate and actually mm, treat people as your puppets, right? Like tell them what to do, है ना? So again, you won't appeal to the masses in this case. If you are a tyrant, you are obviously trying to rule people in a very cruel or evil manner. If you are a popularist, you are fighting for the common people. ठीक है? So demagogue would be the answer because here you are a political leader appealing to popular desires and prejudice. Okay? So you try to persuade them in various ways. Right? So absolutely correct, guys. चलो नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं. Science regarding principles of classification. Taxidermy, taxonomy, toxicology और just class. क्लास तो बिल्कुल भी नहीं हो सकता. तो
Option B, taxonomy.
हम्म अनुभूति, your voice is breaking, can't even understand. बहुत वॉइस ब्रेक हो रही है. Great. Okay. So, एक मिनट. Hmm. Yeah, guys, see, when we talk about the meanings, if I say, let's talk about the first one. So it would be the art of stuffing dead animals or insects or something like that, है ना? So taxonomy तो वही हो जाएगा, science regarding principles of classification, right? So when I talk about C, so this is like the, I would say the scientific study of poison. Poison के बारे में पढ़ रहे हो आप. So obviously our answer would be this one, right? So correct. Oh, correct. चलो. Not allowing the passage of light. Oblique, opaque, optique or opulent.
Ma'am, be opaque.
Hmm. Okay. Okay, great, great, great. Hmm. So, when I say somebody is opulent, it is actually related to wealthy, wealth. Think, when I say optique, optique would be related to eyes again. When I say oblique, oblique would be related to something which is not direct. So आप लोग खुद देख सकते हो कि इसमें से क्या ऑप्शन हो सकता है. Not allowing the passage of light would be opaque. Yes, correct. Is my voice breaking क्या?
No, ma'am. You are clear, Radhvila.
Okay, okay, okay. चलो. Operation of the body after death. Postmortem, obituary, homage or mortuary. We did this yesterday also, where you keep dead bodies before they are buried, right? So, homage is again you pay respect to someone. So, this would be like an article about somebody's life, है ना? You are writing about it. So, postmortem ही होता है ना, like you kind of operate their body after death. हाँ, correct. चलो, next. An apartment building in which each apartment is owned separately by the people living in it, but also containing shared space. Okay. Condo, multiplex, duplex, or caravan.
Ma'am, option A.
Multiplex.
Ma'am, option A. Condominium.
Hmm. Okay. So, when I say this, it is actually related to those. I'm sure you guys must have seen these. There are these vehicles, right? Where people carry all their stuff inside it. So it's like a mini house, as we say, and they travel in it, right? So we are not talking about an apartment here, right? So it kind of is like, bus thingy that you have where you can carry things. Okay, so if I talk about a duplex, so duplex would be like it's again like a place where you have two-story building. So duplex भी नहीं हो सकता. अभी यहाँ पे अगर multiplex की बात करें तो multiplex again is like it's a very huge cinema and which has rooms also. So yes, condo is the right answer, guys, because it's an apartment space where everyone is obviously owning their own spaces, but there are some shared areas also, right? So absolutely right. A would be the answer. Correct. I don't know why some of the students have chosen multiplex because it's not at all related to apartments. Okay, multiplex is a completely different thing. Next. Hmm. A place where birds are kept. Ivory, house, aquarium, or apiary.
Option A. Ivory.
This is for bees. Aquarium is for fish. This is for people. है ना? So out of this option, obviously बात है, A would be the answer. Correct, guys. Very good. Let's move on to the next question. Murder of a king. Homicide, fratricide, regicide, or parricide?
Ma'am, option C. Regicide.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, guys. So we can see first would be like, homicide would be like you just kill people, humans, right? So it's not really particular to anything, right? So B would be when you kill your own, like, sister or brother, like as we say, sibling. Okay. D would be when you kill your either of the parents or maybe your close relatives also. So it can go for that also. So C would be the answer. Absolutely correct. Very good. ठीक है. So next पे चलते हैं. That which is no longer fashionable or in use. Unused, ancient, obsolete, or old.
Ma'am, option C, obsolete.
Hmm. Yeah, see, when I talk about fashion, okay, or something which is just outdated, so the only word that comes to my mind is has to be C. Okay, because old नहीं बोल सकते, ancient नहीं बोल सकते, ठीक है, again something which belongs to the olden times, unused तो बिल्कुल नहीं, like you haven't used it at all. So out of this option, our answer would be C, right? Because it is obviously outdated, as we say. ठीक है, so our answer would be C. Correct, guys. Very good. नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं द डिपॉजिटरी वेयर स्टेट रिकॉर्ड्स एंड डॉक्यूमेंट्स आर प्रिजर्व म्यूजियम लाइब्रेरी एम्पोरियम और आर्काइव
Ma'am, option D, archive.
ओके again when we talk about our documents are preserved so when I talk about museum so museum में तो we keep a lot of things now of maybe scientific or historical significance right so that would be a museum. Library में you will find books. Emporium would be any huge huge shop. So archive is again depository or collection, where state records and documents are preserved. Right. So absolutely right. Correct. Mails में भी आपके archives होते हैं and even WhatsApp में, so many things. So you have archive. So correct. चलो. Okay. So next is governed by a sense of duty. Hmm. Conscious, sensible, intelligent, or conscientious.
Ma'am, option D, conscientious.
Governed by a sense of duty. Again, when I say A, it would be somebody who is, really aware about things, like you're really conscious about things. Right. So again, if I say that you are really sensible, that means you are really reasonable about things. If I call somebody intelligent, I can just call them, being sharp. So again, if you are governed by a sense of duty, so we will definitely go for the D option. Absolutely correct, guys. जल्दी से चलते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन पे incapable of making errors, okay? Infallible, incorrigible, persistent, or inexplicable.
Option A, infallible.
Great. Incapable of making. See, if I say there's a fallacy, so it's a pretty clear that there's an error. So inexplicable would be something that you cannot explain. So it's related to that. If something is persistent, that means like there's somewhat continuity involved. Okay, so incorrigible would be anybody's behavior that they do not want to alter. Like it's related to obviously some kind of bad behavior, unpleasant behavior that that person is not ready to change. So out of these options, our answer would be A, infallible. Okay, because that's related to errors and all. So correct. That which has a double meaning, doubtless, uncertain, controversial, or ambiguous.
Ma'am, option D, ambiguous. ambiguous.
Hmm. That which has a double meaning. Because बोलते हैं ना कि ये तो बहुत ही ज्यादा ambiguous है और there's a lot of ambiguity involved. So that means it can have, either it's really vague or like it can have various meanings because it's difficult for you to understand. So doubtless नहीं हो सकता, uncertain नहीं हो सकता. We are not talking about certainty or something being controversial. ठीक है, which is just looked down upon by the society or something like that. So yes, our answer would be D, ambiguity. Ambiguous, correct. Next. Extreme old age when a man behaves like a fool. Imbecility, youth, dotage, or superannuation. Imbecile भी बोलते हैं ना, but this is actually related to handshake, like golden handshake. So it's not exactly related to somebody behaving like a fool in old age. Imbecile बोलते हैं किसी को somebody who is really foolish. Youth is related to being young. So extreme old age when a man behaves like a fool would be C out of these options. ठीक है? I hope it is clear. So D would be the answer. That which cannot be corrected. Okay. Unintelligible, indelible, illegible, or incorrigible. Hmm. See, when I call something in unintelligible, so it's not something that you can comprehend in easily. Like maybe it has some quality which is otherworldly, like it's difficult for you to understand. Like बोलते हैं ना, something is intelligible, that means it either belongs to this world and it's easier for you to understand it. Right. So now if I make marks on something ऐसा ऐसा करके ना, and it's very difficult to remove या ऐसा, तो फिर उसके लिए हम लोग B बोल सकते हैं. And if I talk about illegible would be any writing that is difficult to understand. So out of this option we can say that cannot be corrected would be D. Again we can use it for somebody's behavior which is very difficult to alter, change, or there's no space for correction. So D would be the answer, correct. The study of ancient societies. Anthropology, archaeology, history, or ethnology. Hmm. Okay. Ancient societies है. Here we actually study about human relations. Here we study about just history, can be history of anything. Na? It's not particularly related to ancient society ka history or something. Right. Anthropology is actually a study of human society only. Like we just study about human societies. So out of these options, when I say ancient society, particularly ancient society, so it has to be again Archaeology. History is not exactly related to ancient society. Na history to is would be a very vague term, or I would say it's a very broad concept altogether. A person of good understanding, a person of good understanding, knowledge and reasoning power. Expert, intellectual, snob, or literate. Literate, literate is anyone who is learned enough, right? Like they're educated, I can say. So that wouldn't qualify them of being, having knowledge or anything. So when I talk about understanding and knowledge and reasoning, all these things. So snob obviously is a person who basically looks down upon people who they think do not come from what do you call? Like they think they come from lower status, right? And they obviously gel well with people who have higher status. So वो भी नहीं हो सकता. Expert can be any expert in any field. So when we talk about good understanding, knowledge, reasoning, and power, so it should be intellectual, right? So that would be the answer. Any doubt, anyone? Or no?
No, ma'am.
चलो फिर नेक्स्ट पे चलते हैं. बताइए. Great answer. So booster तो can be anything, na? Booster can be used for anything that boosts you. So that's not exactly related to a person who insists on something. Instantaneous would be any word that is related to something which happens, instant. So that's related to that. Disciplinarian would be a word related to discipline. So that's not exactly related. So a person who insists on something. Stickler would be the right answer. Correct. Correct. So everybody got it right. Great. A person renouncing the world and practicing self-discipline in order to attain salvation. Skeptic, ascetic, devotee, or antiquarian. Skeptic. A person renouncing the world. Antiquarian would be any person who is, fond of antiques and all. ऐसी जो पुरानी चीजें and all that, ना? Skeptic again would be skepticism. You are very doubtful about things, so you become a skeptic. Devotee would be any person who is devoted to anything. है ना? Ascetic would be a person who renounces the world and practice like abstains themselves from being materialistic. Yeah, and follows the path of salvation. Correct. Next. To abandon his religious faith. Apostate, prostate, profane, or agnostic. Hmm.
Option A, apostate.
Okay. Yeah, see, when I talk about agnosticism again is I would say there are various beliefs that people have. Some people believe in theism, some are atheist, but some people are agnostics. So they do not have any such substantial belief when it comes to religion and God, right? So it's not exactly related to you abandoning, religious faith. Profane would be again anything which is profane would involve anything, जिसमें lewd होती हैं चीजें, मतलब जैसे lewd comments या ऐसा कुछ, like जैसे बोलते हैं ना, बहुत ही inappropriate language जैसा बोल सकते हैं, है ना? Prostate is not at all related because it's related to our glands found in our body. So उसका कोई relation नहीं होगा. So absolutely right. A would be the answer. ठीक है? To abandon his religious faith. So A would be the answer. Correct. Next, the audience started crying when they heard the girl singing a sad song. Ditty, dirge, knell, or lay. अच्छा सैड सॉन्ग कर लो, चलो सैड सॉन्ग. सैड सॉन्ग. नेल. नेल तो बेल के लिए होता है. साउंड ऑफ बेल. नेल. चलो आई विल टेल द आंसर ऑफ दिस वन. Because ditty would be any song, like like a very short, simple, प्यारा सा song. So dirge would be the answer. ठीक है. Lay तो guys, basically you lay, right? You lay on something, so that is not at all exactly related यहाँ पे. So your answer would be. Chalo, next. The family broke down when they heard that the boy had killed himself. When you kill yourself. Homicide we have already learned when you kill humans. Matricide would be related to your mother. है ना? तो फिर infanticide क्या होता है? Infants.
And killing of infants.
हाँ, correct. Very good. So everybody knows when you kill yourself, it's a suicide, right? So that's what it is. Correct. Next. A nursery where children are cared for while their parents are at work. Home, crèche, school, or fletch.
Option B, crèche.
Guys, have you seen this thing? अच्छा, fletch का अगर किसी को नहीं पता है, so if there's a church and it has this should I say it? चलो पहले आप आंसर करो. हाँ वो तो सही बोला. Where nursery where children are cared for, because home में तो we don't, it's not a nursery ना. Home is home where you have your family. School, obviously children go to school, but not necessarily that their parents are at work and they have to be cared for and all these things. They usually go there to study and all. ठीक है. So this would be related to it's a very slender kind of so for example if this is your church and it has this slender kind of spire thing जैसे सा बहुत ही पतला सा होता है and it looks somewhat like this. Okay, उसको fletch बोलते हैं. Got it? So it's not related to nursery. So out of these options, your answer would be this. Correct. Chalo, next question. One who can think about the future with imagination and wisdom. Okay. With imagination and wisdom. Dreamer, idealist, seer, or visionary. चलो this is the last question. तो बता दो जल्दी से. Dreamer तो कोई भी हो सकता है ना. मतलब dreamer can be any person who can dream. Idealist would be any person who believes in these ideas, notions, perfections. Seer can be any person who sees, but When I say that who can think about the future with imagination and wisdom also, then it means that you have a vision, है ना? You have a vision about things, about life. You are not just doing things purposelessly कि बस कर रहे हैं, ठीक है. Dream कर रहे हैं, I'm a dreamer. Right? So, absolutely correct. ठीक है, so we are done with the questions for today. बहुत सारे questions आज हमने practice कर लिए हैं. ठीक है, so if anyone has any doubt right now, they can ask. And tomorrow would be the class where we will be compiling everything, summarize everything, you know. So we'll be doing complete revision. We will work through everything that we have studied so far. हाँ जी. Chalo guys, for the people who are watching us right now, thank you so much for being with me. I will see all of you in the next class. तब तक के लिए जय हिंद and take care of yourself. Bye bye everyone.
Thank
Bye
you,
bye.
man.
Welcome. Take care guys.